If you love cozy games on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, you are in for a treat because this year and into 2026, the lineup is absolutely stacked. From farming sims to magical adventures, there is something here for every kind of cozy gamer. Let's get into it. Wild and Chill comes from the same team behind Cast and Chill, which is that beloved fishing game that launched on Switch and Switch 2 in December 2025. This time, though, the devs are moving from water to land, deep into the Canadian and Alaskan backcountry, to be exact. You are out here hunting, fishing, trapping, foraging, crafting tools, and building your own off-grid cabin from scratch. The survival loop is all about keeping yourself fed, your firewood dry, and the wolves out of camp. It is not a high-pressure survival game where you are constantly fighting for your life. The whole vibe is relaxed wilderness living. Go at your own pace, build what you want, and just breathe it all in. You have got a trusty animal companion with you the whole time, which makes exploring feel less lonely. The big standout here is the co-op. You can bring up to 4 players in online co-op, so you and your friends can build a cabin together, go hunting as a group, or just hang around the campfire. Deer and Boy is one of those games that hits different because it does not need a single line of dialogue to tell its story. You play as a young runaway boy who, after getting lost in the wilderness, stumbles upon a frightened fawn. Neither of them can survive alone, so they stick together, and from there, a quiet bond begins to grow. The game is a cinematic platformer. Think of it like playing through an animated movie. There is no text to read, no narrator guiding you, just gorgeous 3D visuals and emotional music doing all the heavy lifting. As you travel together and face obstacles along the way, the fawn slowly grows from a fragile, vulnerable creature into a strong and protective deer. That growth actually changes how you play. The deer's new abilities open up different paths and puzzle solutions as you go. The puzzles are thoughtful and woven naturally into the environments, rather than feeling like roadblocks. Solarpunk has been on people's wish lists for a long time, and it is finally landing on June 8th, 2026, and it is coming to Switch 2. This one is a cozy survival crafting sandbox, and the whole thing is built around a world of floating islands high above the clouds. You build a base, grow food, craft gadgets, and then hop into your own hand-built airship to sail to other islands and find new resources. The airship is honestly a huge part of what makes this game feel fresh. Each player gets their own, and you build and customize it piece by piece. There is no combat, no monsters attacking you at night, no stressful timers. The focus is entirely on building, farming, exploring, and using renewable energy systems like solar panels and windmills to automate your processes. You can play solo or with up to 4 friends in co-op. What is wild is that this entire game was built by just 2 developers, and it cleared over 1 million Steam wishlists before launch. Go-Go Town is a city builder, but it is not the kind where you just place tiles and watch numbers go up. You are the actual mayor, and in this town, the mayor also runs errands in a hard hat, while everything slowly falls apart. You step into a rundown tourist destination and rebuild it from scratch. Zoning areas, placing buildings, setting up subway lines, hiring workers, stocking shops, and managing supply chains and delivery couriers. The game balances calm city planning with moments of pure comedic chaos, and it has this great feeling of your town slowly coming alive as you put more work into it. The automation systems are genuinely fun to set up. Once things are running, you can step back and watch the machine you built hum along. The game has been in early access on PC since June 2024 and has already won over tens of thousands of players. The Switch version is a timed console exclusive, and it launches in spring 2026 with all the major update content included. Farming Camp. You play as Alessandra, a teenage girl who enters the prestigious Evertree farming camp with one goal: win the title of top farmer. But what starts as a competitive drive to be the best quickly becomes something deeper. A coming-of-age story about friendship, belonging, and figuring out who you are. Each day has a structured rhythm. Wake up, handle your chores, tend to your crops, and then spend time bonding with the other campers after hours. The game blends farm management with visual novel-style storytelling, all wrapped in a charming 2D pixel art style. It has been described as a gorgeous Stardew Valley alternative, and honestly, the premise alone sets it apart. Rather than building a life in a quiet town, you are competing for a title while navigating teenage relationships and rivalries. There is warmth here, a lot of it. No specific launch date has been confirmed yet, but it is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2026, published by Sodesco and developed by Innerfire Studios. Moss, The Forgotten Relic is the definitive collection of both Moss and Moss Book 2, two of the most beloved puzzle platformer adventure games ever made, originally VR exclusives that Switch players can now finally experience. You play as Quill, a tiny but determined mouse with big dreams, exploring a living storybook world filled with ancient magic and fallen kingdoms. What makes the gameplay so special is something the devs call the twofold system. You control Quill directly, guiding her through environments and combat. But you also play as her guardian, the Reader, who can physically interact with the world around her. You move obstacles, redirect enemies, and help her reach places she cannot get to on her own. It creates this wonderful sense of partnership and connection between the player and the character. The puzzles are woven into the landscape naturally, and the atmosphere is warm, emotional, and beautifully presented. Hela is an absolute gem for fans of cozy adventure games. You play as one of a witch's magical familiars, small, brave mice, in a Scandinavian-inspired open world. The witch has spent her life using her powers to heal others and help her community, but now she has fallen ill. So her mice step up, venture out into the world, gather ingredients, and brew potions to restore her health. The world you explore is inspired by northern Scandinavia, with lush forests, rugged mountain paths, shimmering lakes, and enchanted woodlands, all rendered in gorgeous 3D. Gameplay blends exploration, foraging, puzzle solving, light action, and potion brewing, and there is no combat in the traditional sense. The focus is on kindness, discovery, and taking care of your witch. You can play the whole thing solo, or team up with a friend through local split screen or online co-op. Trade Tales. Your story starts when your character wins a small farm plot in a lottery and moves to the mysterious town of Cloverdale. From there, you can go in so many directions, grow crops, raise animals, fish, mine for ores, and craft items. But you can also open your own shop, become a supplier for other businesses, pick up odd jobs around town, or even try your hand at becoming a social media influencer in-game. The business progression system grows with you, and the town's economy actually reacts to what you do. Relationships matter here too. You can befriend and romance over 10 different characters, and as those bonds deepen, the story opens up. The game has a seasons and weather system that affects what you can grow and do each day, which keeps every cycle feeling fresh. It was built by Filipino indie developer Brick Geek Games, and it draws clear inspiration from Stardew Valley and Story of Seasons while layering in a lot more entrepreneurial depth. Out of Words is something genuinely rare, a co-op platformer that feels like it could be in a film festival. You play as Kurt and Carla, exploring the handcrafted world of Vocabulantis together in a story about the first time they held hands. Every single thing you see in this game, the characters, the environments, the props, was crafted by hand using stop-motion techniques, and the result is unlike anything else out there. The gameplay is built entirely around cooperation, so you and a friend navigate puzzles and platforming sections that require real teamwork to pull off. You can play online with cross-platform support or on the couch together in local co-op. The game comes from Kong Orange and Wiredfly, developed alongside acclaimed poet Morten Sundergaard, and is published by Epic Games. It has drawn comparisons to It Takes Two and Split Fiction for how deeply the co-op mechanics are woven into the story. Moonlight Peaks is a supernatural life sim where you play as a vampire who decides to step out of Count Dracula's shadow. Instead of following your father's dark expectations, you move to the family's abandoned homestead in the magical town of Moonlight Peaks and try to build a kinder, more compassionate life. The town is full of other supernatural creatures, werewolves, witches, mermaids, and even Death himself is a character you can get to know. During your days, or rather your nights, you grow mystical crops on your haunted farm, tend to gothic livestock, brew potions, learn spellcasting, and customize your cottage with dark atmospheric decor. You can even use magic to control your watering can, and to quickly get around town, you transform into a bat. The game also has a full romance system where you can date the locals. The tension between the life you are trying to build and your father's disapproval gives the story real emotional weight. Starsand Island is a next-generation cozy life sim built around the idea of returning to your childhood roots. Your customizable character comes back to Starsand, a beautiful island that was their home long ago, and starts rebuilding a peaceful pastoral life. The game has 4 full seasons, each with its own weather, crops, fish, insects, and seasonal events like Chinese New Year and a summer beach festival. You can farm, fish, forage, craft, and build out your homestead across multiple island environments, a bamboo forest area, a beach, and even a private island. There are nearly 100 different crops, a hybrid splicing system to breed unique plants, animal companions including capybaras and cats, and full character customization with modular outfits and an infinite color wheel. The game launched in early access on PC and Xbox in February 2026, with the full release including multiplayer, dating, and the Switch 2 version coming summer 2026. Developed by Seed Sparkle Lab. My Time at Evershine is the third game in Pythia Games' beloved My Time series, following Portia and Sandrock, and it takes the formula to a bigger scale. You are not just a crafter this time, you are the governor of the Evershine settlement, tasked with building up a community from the ground up in a post-apocalyptic world that is slowly recovering from a devastating event called the Day of Calamity. You gather resources, build infrastructure, either through prefab options or full DIY construction, recruit settlers, tame the surrounding wilderness, and grow the settlement into a thriving presence on the frontier. There are romance options, friendships to develop, and plenty of quests that come from the people you bring in. The game uses a more realistic art style than its predecessors and runs in full 3D open world. The Kickstarter for this one raised over $1 million in just 24 hours, which shows how much goodwill this series has built. Neverway is a fascinating blend of life sim, horror, and action RPG. And yes, it fits on this cozy game list, because the life sim elements are deeply present alongside the darker stuff. You play as Fiona, who quits her dead-end job and moves to a farm on a remote island to start fresh. But when she arrives, she becomes indebted to a dead god and is made its immortal herald. From that point on, you are managing your daily farm life, cooking, decorating, tending your homestead, while also dealing with a nightmare reality called Neverway that is slowly bleeding into the real world. The relationship system lets you meet and romance over 10 characters with their own routines and storylines, and the bonds you build actually unlock combat abilities and buffs. The combat itself is top-down, fast-paced, and expressive. Time in the game progresses in 3 blocks, morning, afternoon, and evening, and you choose when to advance. Grave Seasons is a farming sim with a thriller twist, and it comes from Blumhouse Games, yes, the horror film company. After a treacherous escape from jail, your character lands in the quiet, picturesque town of Ashenridge and tries to start a new life as a farmer. You grow crops, fish, mine, build relationships with the locals, and slowly embed yourself into the community. But Ashenridge has a dark secret. A supernatural serial killer is at work in the town, and the murders start happening not long after you arrive. The game is narrative-led, which means uncovering the truth behind the killings is woven into everything you do, including what you grow on your farm. Your crops and the items you gather actually play a direct role in your ability to investigate and piece together the mystery. It sits in a space that feels genuinely unique, cozy enough to relax into, but with a constant undercurrent of dread keeping you engaged. Witchbrook has been one of the most anticipated cozy games for years. It was first teased back in 2018, and it is finally, actually coming in 2026. Developed by Chucklefish, the studio that helped publish Stardew Valley, this is a witch life sim and social RPG set in the bustling seaside city of Mossport. You are the newest witch in training at Witchbrook College, attending magical classes, learning spells, brewing potions, earning school badges, and discovering the secrets hidden in the city around you. Alongside the academic side, there is a full relationship system. You make friends, build connections, and can find love along the way. The city itself is alive, with people who have their own lives and schedules, and the world is packed with detail. You can also play with up to 3 others in online co-op. It is coming to Nintendo Switch, Switch 2, PC, and Xbox. No exact date yet, but it is happening in 2026, and after all the waiting, that is already news worth celebrating. Beastro is a cozy cooking and deck-building adventure from Timberline Studio, the team behind the Red Lantern. You play as Panko, a talented young chef running a village eatery in the peaceful town of Palo Pori. Beyond the village walls, monsters have started threatening the land, and the only way to protect everyone is by feeding the monster hunters who venture out to fight them. So your job is to cook incredible meals that fuel these fighters and give them the abilities they need. The cooking system is built around flavor biomes. Each region of the world is defined by a flavor type, like bitter, salty, sour, sweet, or umami. And the characters from those regions have taste preferences tied to their homeland. Matching the right flavors creates powerful effects in the card-based battle sequences that unfold as the hunters eat and relive their adventures. You also farm, gather, fish, and craft ingredients from town to table. The Witch's Bakery. You play as Lun, a cheerful young witch who has just moved to the city and opened her own bakery. She has one special power. She can see directly into people's hearts and use magic to heal their emotions. Each day is split into 3 parts. Daytime, where you run the bakery and serve customers with your team of friends. Evening, where you explore Paris, build relationships, and step inside the troubled hearts of the people you care about. And night, where you rest, decorate your atelier, and improve your magical skills. The baking mechanics blend with the emotional storytelling in a really satisfying way. What you bake and how you serve it connects directly to the people you are helping. The game's main theme was composed by Cecile Corbel, who did the music for Studio Ghibli's Arrietty, which should give you a sense of the tone this game is going for. A physical edition is available for pre-order. Launching in August 2026 on Switch and Switch 2. Littlelands is a charming 3D sandbox adventure with a toy-like visual style that immediately calls to mind the Link's Awakening remake blended with Animal Crossing. You play as a kid who starts with a simple errand: fix a broken computer at Grandma's house, and what begins as a short trip turns into a full mystery-solving adventure across a quirky, wonderful world. The Littlelands region is full of unusual characters, hidden areas, and NPC-driven quests that push you into genuinely memorable situations. You can farm berries, craft food, fish, catch insects, hunt for buried treasure, explore dungeons, and fight monsters when things get spicy. The world rewards exploration constantly. There are secret spots tucked away everywhere, and the community of characters feels genuinely alive. It is developed by solo developer Raphael Martin, published by Apogee Entertainment, and was built with a whole lot of personal passion. Village in the Shade comes from Nippon Ichi Software, the studio behind Disgaea and Phantom Brave, and it is their entry into the farming sim space with a twist that makes it stand apart from everything else in this video. You move to Kagatsu, a hand-painted Japanese mountain village that looks absolutely gorgeous. Cherry blossoms, brooks, cozy festivals, warm neighbors. You farm, build relationships, craft furniture, attend seasonal events, and settle into a quiet, rural life. But there are rules in Kagatsu that you have to follow. Do not talk to strangers, do not leave the village boundaries, and do not go out after dark. The game leaves it up to you whether to dig into the truth behind those rules. Push into the mystery, and you find darker layers hiding beneath the peaceful surface. The hand-painted art style gives it the feel of a picture book come to life, and the blend of cozy routine with creeping unease is handled with real craft. Fields of Mistria is the #1 most anticipated cozy game on this list, and if you have spent any time in cozy gaming communities over the past year, you already know why. The game has been in early access on PC since August 2024 and has built an enormous, passionate fanbase. Set in the charming town of Mistria, which is still recovering from a major earthquake, you move in and start rebuilding your life, farming, fishing, mining, crafting, and blacksmithing your way through the seasons. There are over 50 crops to grow across 4 seasons, animals you can raise and breed for rare color variants, and over 700 items to craft. Beyond the farm, you get to know more than 30 villagers, each with their own schedules and storylines, and there are 10 characters you can pursue romantically. Magic is also woven into the gameplay. You unlock abilities that aid both your farming and combat in the dungeon ruins. The art style is gorgeous and nostalgic. 20 cozy games coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 that are absolutely worth keeping an eye on. Drop your most anticipated in the comments. I want to know which one has you the most excited. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. See you in the next video.